Welcome to the Baxter Effect Podcast. Your host, John Baxter. And what we have today is another story into how we perceive this world at such a level of understanding who's really in control. You're not going to want to miss this episode. And before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Anti-Aging Bed. They are the conglomerate of health technologies, multifaceted technologies, all the way from sleep to your wellness center to clinic and beyond. Anti-Aging Bed is a pioneer and forerunner in the future of healthcare that you could take advantage of in the comfort of your own home. So let's get right to it. When we ask who's in control, is it your mind or is it your body? This is one of the things that we often confuse ourselves. We ask ourselves all the time. This question has been pondered over millennia by the church, even by psychology, by famous philosophies and religions. Who's truly in control? And over the grand scheme of things, and who's in control of you, your body, your mind, or your body? And so, that is the topic that we're going to tackle today. And I'd just like to say that I want to ask everyone just one question. It may be the most important question you'll ever ask yourself, and I've been pondering about this topic for some time now. But you ask yourself, who is truly running your life? Is it the mind, or is it the body? Because most of us have been taught something since childhood, and that is what we've been told is to just do the simple things, to simply just think positive. That's it. That's who's in control. Or if you can control your thoughts, you can control everything. And the other one is you just need to change your attitude and your mindset. But while there is truth in this understanding, who's never thought of these before, within that truth, there is a much bigger missing point, especially when it comes to the future of health or the future. If we took all the information in the world, now that we have AI, and we really dug deep into what is really moving, what is really happening, we're going to be probably elated and a little bit more questioning the reality we live in. What if your body has already made the decision before your mind has ever caught up with it? Now just think about that for a moment. Have you ever noticed that when you haven't slept very well, and who hasn't in this day and age, why does the world look so much different? People may irritate you more. And that's, some of the issues that I ran with. It's just, if you don't sleep, you get irritated. Problems look and feel just much, much bigger. Hope feels smaller, and nothing outside changed at all. Has your biology changed? And suddenly, all of a sudden, your reality changed. Maybe the mind isn't the driver as we thought. And I've studied with major gurus, major religions, and they say that mind is everything. But what if it's the interpreter of the mind and the body? Now, that isn't the highest level of spirituality or the highest level of probably this physical body. It's more of a basic level premise on how this body operates. The body first and foremost, is likely the one making the decision first. We like to believe we're very rational, but as you've seen in previous podcasts, if you can't heal yourself from a rational point of view, that you need to let go of your thoughts to even heal yourself, then is the perceiver of these issues kind of in between. Now, neuroscience paints a very much different picture. Your nervous system is constantly collecting information before it's even consciously aware of it. Some people that I've spoke to in the past, and I kind of believe it, they've done studies with the heart. They say the heart a lot of times make the decision before the mind. There's intuition essentially as well. And so I think what we're diving into today is kind of peeling back the onion on reality. Just as the great sages, just as the great people of our time, and even in the past millennia, the number one question is, who's in control? Your heart is either under stress or calm. It's always changing. Your hormones are always fluctuating. We see this on a monthly pattern, especially for women and for men. Your breathing is always changing from fight or flight or relaxation, but most of us are breathing from a state of stress. Our inflammation, and I've spoken to people that work out a lot. I know people that work out so much that they're in a constant state of stress. They're in a constant state of pain. And that inflammation has to do a number on your psychology and in your mind and in your body. Your gut is sending signals. They always say sickness derives from your mouth health, teeth health, and basically your gut health. You know, that's another whole perceived understanding. Is your health regulated by what's going on in your gut? Another true statement. Is your immune system, is it working or is it not working? Would that cause you to create a scenario where you're not really in control? So, yeah, there are a multitude of factors when we talk about who's in control, the mind or the body. And what I just ran over was that was all body. If that was all body, and we're saying the mind is in control, I think we have a lot to learn here. And before you think your first thought about this, realize your biology has already voted. Is this a democracy? Or is this a republic? I don't know. I know we live in a republic, and that's, what you hope for. But in this scenario, the mind is simply just explaining the results. If I'm a little bit slow and I haven't slept, I'm a little bit agitated, isn't that really your body at the end? So the body is always keeping score. And because of that, your body always remembers. And sometimes after your mind thinks it has moved on, it hasn't. And which leads us to just so many other questions. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And I think it's going to hit very well with the listeners at home. And before I get into that, please like, share, comment, because this podcast, or subscribe, because this podcast relies on people like you to get the message out. Our number one reason why we do this podcast is to end human suffering. And the topics we talk about are not everyday topics. These are diving deep topics into the reality of the issues that people are facing today. And that's why we call it the Baxter Effect Podcast. Because we're taking a very difficult topic to explain and relaying this in a manner with the information necessary, the pros and cons, to help you at home pick the truth that belongs to you. So that's very helpful if you could do that. And I would say, going back to one of my favorite topics, is that we confuse our biology with our personality. We confuse our biology with our perception. We confuse what's going on. And through this filter, there's a lot of things that could happen. And we see it every month. We see this, but we never talk about it. And that's why we're gonna break it down today. When people say, and I hear this all the time, I feel anxious. I don't feel like I have enough energy. I feel unmotivated. I think I'm just depressed. But maybe the reality is you're exhausted. Maybe you've been sleeping 5 hours a night for years. Maybe you've been sleeping 8 to 10 hours a night for years, but the quality is just poor. Maybe, just maybe, you have chronic stress going on, and your nervous system forgot what calm is. The definitions of what our body perceive are oftentimes not accurate. I've seen this because I lived with chronic stress for decades. And it wasn't until I reduced my chronic stress by actually working on health technologies to heal my chronic stress that I realized what I've been missing out on. And the nervous system that I had was just in a state of danger. So did I ever feel comfortable? Did I ever sleep? No. But until technology like we have today at Anti-Aging Bed, and grounding technology specifically, and eating cleaner foods was understood, by fixing the gut health, by cleaning out the toxins in the body, was I even able to understand or perceive what I'm talking about today. Maybe you think in a sense that your inflammation is normal. Pain is normal, and I am a big advocate on this because as you've heard me say in other podcasts, if you feel pain and it's okay to you at this point and you don't care about it and that's just normal, I want you to do something today. I want you to tell yourself it's not okay. If you feel any pain in your body, I want you to tell yourself this is not okay. Because let's just break it down. If that pain derives into years and years of pain and you have just mentally blocked it as not a big deal and normal, you will run into a chronic disease that could end your life. And if pain has become your identity, we live in a traumatic society. How many people have been abused physically, verbally, to the point where that's become normal? And if you have had this type of scenario from parents, loved one, the closest people to you, you identify pain as being normal. When biology becomes chronic, people mistake it for personality. And this is part of the reason why our goal is to end the human suffering, because if we've just opened this door for a new reality for you and anyone else that's dealing with this, it's a door worth opening, because in the end, you're going to be happier, healthier, feeling better, basically over your perceived life that you're living. And if we could do anything, is to I would say, acknowledge this first. You don't hear people say, my nervous system is overloaded. They say, this is just who I am. This is always who I was. This is who my mom was. This is who my father was. I watched my uncle, my brothers, and my sister. they are all doing the same thing. We're all overloaded. Our nervous system's overloaded. We're living on stress chemicals, and if we get extra stress chemicals, that's normal too. So that's when you start defining. And I just gotta scream this out loud, because we've been defining ourselves as a society as this is normal. And when I try to tell people this, they confuse me as crazy. And the reality is, this is the truth, but you're overlooking it. In my last podcast, you are your biggest deceiver. And when you say, this is just who I am, you're just deceiving yourself. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just here to tell you that we're here to help. Between the stimuli that you think and the response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our own response. So let me ask again. Let me say this again. Between stimulus and the response, there is a space in that little area. And in that space is your power to choose your response. And then what happens is, when your biology shrinks that space, when it's understood and perceived, this is where you get your power back. This is where you get your healing back. This is where you truly change, to figure out who's really in control. So this is an invisible war. Every day millions of people wake up and they're already 5 steps behind. And they don't know why. Because it's normal. No, it's because you or they lack true intelligence. And if you lack true intelligence, not only you cannot help yourself, but you'll never be able to help others. That's why this is so important to grasp, guys. Because their body has never recovered from the day before. Their body has never recovered from the years of constant. It's almost like a broken record. They have never recovered from, I realized this from college. It took me a decade to figure out I never recovered from my era in college when I wasn't sleeping. It took a decade to figure that out. Because I wasn't sleeping. I was cramming for quizzes. I was working a full-time job. This was normal. It was what I had to do. But I lacked the intelligence to realize it. In the modern world, we are creating an epidemic. And it's like basically a deprivation of recovery. We're depriving ourselves from the recovery we need because it's normal and I don't know what this body is. And guess what? Who's in control? At this point, you're not even in control. Society is in control of you. And this fear that you have and wanting to find out the truth about yourself, people are profiting from you. People are profiting from your mind. People are profiting from your actions. You're not much different than a slave. And honestly, I hope that wakes you up. We're constantly being hit by artificial lights, poor sleep, constant social media notifications. We're eating fake foods and sugars, fake oils and fake grains. We're constantly being overstimulated. We've got no silence, no stillness, no recovery, and we still say, this is where I'm living my life. This is where I want to be. And when you get a chronic disease, remember this podcast. Watch it a couple times. The body will never get permission to stop surviving. It just survives. You don't tell your heartbeat to say, hey, you better keep beating. So when you realize this, it's always going to try to survive, but under what conditions? You are in control. Your body is in control. Your mind is what we perceive that's in control. But if we get to the next level of this podcast, you're going to find out so much more of why, when, where, and eventually you become the personality of a survival situation. If your reality is based on your survival mechanism, aren't we living in a shallow / fake society? One that could never heal itself. One where everyone is fighting in the rat race. You're no longer a person. This is a rat race. You're a financial means. You're a part of my survival. I need money from you. This is just not the arena where true reality exists for your healing. So, we have created many products. We have created here at Anti-Aging Bed a longevity circuit. We have over 100 technologies, and with our longevity circuit, it's just like a workout circuit. You go from machine to machine. We scan you. We holographically scan the body. The body is electric, so we know anything and everything within 5 to 15 minutes. We put you through a longevity circuit of products, and guess what? In the end, we measure the good and the bad. We're the first company in the world to figure this out. Big pharma with trillions of dollars in not only advertising, but budgets and profits. They don't want you to know this, because then the joke is figured out. The joke is on you. We're profiting off of your fear. So you're never going to get this information from anyone. You're not going to find this information from any of the considered health gurus, because I was super blessed, fortunate, lucky to be 10 years ahead of most every individual in health technology on the planet. And if you're interested in what we've done, is we've taken all the technologies and put it into one complete system. Our MedBed system has over 10 technologies. Our holographic scan MedBed to our celestial pod. You're combining, you're bringing healing to the forefront in a fashion that allows you to maximize your time. So as we continue here, realize your recovery changes the whole paradigm. Recovery changes not only the paradigm, but your perception in your world. When your recovery improves, your clarity improves. Your closer relationships improve. Your decision making and cognitive behavior improves. Your purpose comes back and can be found. Your creativity, which you've heard me scream in my purpose, of course, if you can get your purpose and creativity back, you are on the road to realizing not only your own healing, but your mission and purpose, which is the highest level of healing. Recovery, of course, is the condition that allows every other system to work better. What condition does the body need to thrive? We here, this is what we have been known for worldwide. We change the environment and the conditions subside. You see it every day. Change the people you're around. You want a life full of misery and pain and chaos? Hang around the people that are just living for that. You want a better life, better conditions? I asked someone the other day, how come you don't know what you want? Well, think about the conditions you want. Do you want better conditions? Do you want to eat better food? Do you want a better relationship? Do you want more time for yourself and more freedom? What do you mean you don't know what you want? So you won't know what you want unless you start to understand this reality a little bit better. And it's up to you. No one's coming to save you. Podcasts like these are helping you achieve much more, not only to find your mission and purpose, the technologies that are available to help you get there, and of course, how to rid yourself of what we perceive as problems that are barriers for this to be achieved. And I ask everyone here, it's like, you've heard me say this so many times, guys. It's just like, what is the future of health? Well, it's not what disease do you have. That's first and foremost. The future of health is not starting with what disease do you have, but what is the state of the system you're in. Imagine the healthcare beginning with sleep, recovery, nervous system regulation, and purpose. And that's what we've done. We've taken and changed the environment within and around the body. We didn't just take a symptom like a cough or a back pain and cover it up with a drug that numbs you and say you're healed. We didn't do that. We realize there's many systems in the body. And if we can get every system online with an effective understanding of what the issue is and what the solution is, you're 1,000 times better off. And what I'm trying to say here is, what if you've been trying to heal the wrong thing? What if your mind isn't broken? What if your body has simply been asking for help for years and no one ever taught you how to listen to it? And I'll leave you with that. You can check out my other podcast and realize we are at the forefront of this understanding. We have been teaching you to listen. A symptom in your body is something to listen to. I just told you at the beginning, if you knew you had pain and you normalized this pain for years and you believe it's normal and okay, I've been the one telling you it's not okay. Because if you don't listen, you'll never know. You'll never finish the race. You'll be the person that is lost. Maybe the greatest breakthrough in health won't be another medication. Maybe it will be learning how to restore your human system. We educate, we inform all day. This is what we do. So that you understand the future of healthcare. You understand how this body and mind work. Because in the end, like I said, no one's coming to save you. But if you do your due diligence, and what else is there to do? You're not on this earth to work a menial job and then die without any resources. You're on this earth for something much bigger than that. And if we can never fix that, we can never restore the system of humanity. And my mission has always been pretty simple. We will get you a catalog. We will get you more information about how we do this and how we educate. And if you type in free scan, we'll get you a free scan. If you want to get more information, type in you're interested in the free book. We'll give you a free digital copy. And that's all I have to say today. Thank you guys so much for joining the Baxter Effect Podcast. Your host, John Baxter.